One thing I've always appreciated about high-level sports at the junior and college level is the ability that some programs have to recruit elite talent on a consistent basis that will thrive at the highest level. These are the quote-unquote factories, if you will, that bring in high-level prospects and help them get to the highest level in their respective sport. You've got Alabama in college football, Duke or Kansas for basketball, and Oklahoma State in golf. And there are many other examples across sports, but you get the point. In hockey, there are a few different routes to the NHL. Your path often depending on where you grew up or what nationality you are. But Division I college hockey is one of the best ways to get into the NHL, as over 1/3 of players in the league played in the NCAA. In today's video, I will be taking a look at 4 of the best programs in college hockey and trying to figure out which school produces the best NHL talent. Most of the major college hockey programs have produced at least 1 or 2 NHL players, and occasionally a star prospect will go play at a lesser-known hockey school. For instance, like Cale Makar at UMass, Jake Gensel at Omaha, or Connor Hellebuck at UMass Lowell. But many of the top-tier players will be recruited by the bigger-name, more historic hockey schools, like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Boston College, Boston University, North Dakota, or Minnesota Duluth. There are so many elite players that have been superstars and even Hall of Famers to play at these programs and then excel at the NHL level. And it was very hard to narrow it down to 4 potential schools, and it took a lot of comparing and analyzing, but I feel that I've chosen the right ones. I first want to give a couple of honorable mentions to the schools that could have been in the running but just missed out, and those were Wisconsin, the University of Minnesota, Harvard, Denver, and UMD. The programs it came down to were, out of the West region, the University of North Dakota, the Midwest region, the University of Michigan, the Northeast region, Boston College, and the extra region, because I just couldn't leave them out, Boston University. These are all programs that consistently get highly talented recruits and players who are not only drafted in the NHL, but often in the first round of the draft. We'll start it off with the University of North Dakota. There are currently over 15 players who played at the University of North Dakota in the NHL right now, including many high-caliber players including Zach Parise, TJ Oshie, Brock Nelson, Brock Boeser, Nick Schmaltz, and Jonathan Toews. Not only do they have quite a few other solid players, they also have some very good prospects who have potential to be stars in the NHL. Shane Pinto is one, who was drafted in 2019 in the second round by Ottawa and has already played 12 games in the NHL and has 7 points. Jacob Bernard Docker is another, who is also an Ottawa Senators draft pick from 2018 in the first round. And Jake Sanderson is another, who looks to have the most potential out of them all, drafted in 2020 in the first round, 5th overall, coincidentally also by Ottawa. North Dakota is a fantastic program that gets so many of the best recruits in the US, Canada, and around the world, largely because of their history of success, tradition, and the fact that they have some of the best facilities and arena in college hockey. Ralph Engelstad Arena holds over 11,000 for hockey games, providing for an outstanding atmosphere. Moving on to Michigan, another school that has had many great players go through its program, especially over the past 10 to 15 years. Currently, Michigan has about 19 players who are rostered on NHL teams, many of these being high-caliber, talented young stars. This list includes players like Dylan Larkin, Kyle Connor, Zach Werenski, Quinn Hughes, Jacob Trouba, Andrew Kopp, Josh Norris, and JT Comfort. And they also have a few veterans in the league who are former Wolverines, including Max Pacioretty, Carl Hagelin, John Merrill, and Zach Hyman. And the University of Michigan team from this year was absolutely loaded with future NHL talent, including 3 players who are all likely going top 10 in this year's draft. And those players are Owen Power, Matty Beniers, and Kent Johnson. And they also had first-round picks Brendan Brisson, Cam York, and John Beecher, as well as second-round pick Thomas Bordeleau, who led all NCAA freshmen in scoring. It's safe to say Michigan knows what they're doing when it comes to recruiting elite talent, and they have truly built a hockey factory that has pumped out NHL talent for many years and will continue to in years to come. For our third school, we go to the Northeast and take a look at Boston College, another historic college hockey program with national championships, great tradition, and elite talent. BC also has around 16 players currently playing on NHL rosters, and more that will be full-timers in the very near future. They have a mix of veteran NHL players that are well known around the league like Cam Atkinson, Chris Kreider, Johnny Gaudreau, Kevin Hayes, Noah Hannafin, Brian Dumoulin, Mike Matheson, Alex Tuck, and Miles Wood. And some younger guys that are also making an impact like Zach Sanford, Colin White, Oliver Wahlstrom, and goalie Thatcher Demko. They also have young studs that played on the team this year that have turned pro, like first-round pick Matt Boldy for the Wild, Alex Newhook for the Avalanche, and goalie Spencer Knight for the Panthers. And second-round pick Drew Hellison for the Avalanche as well. The Eagles have built a program that not only gets high-level recruits year after year, but also, like North Dakota and Michigan most of the time, field a great college hockey team that can compete for national championships. And now we turn to BC's biggest rival, Boston University. BU also has around 19 players currently playing on NHL rosters, and that number should also continue to grow just like the other schools I've mentioned. BU arguably currently has the highest level stars in the NHL in my opinion, having had players like Jack Eichel, Trevor Zegras, Charlie McAvoy, and Brady Tkachuk go to their school. In addition, they have alums like Nick Bonino, Kevin Shattenkirk, Charlie Coyle, Clayton Keller, Jordan Greenway, and Matt Grzelcyk. And also have younger guys like Dante Fabro, Joel Farabee, Kiefer Bellows, and goalie Jake Ottinger. They also have guys that played on this year's team like David Ferentz, a third-round pick by Nashville, Luke Tuck, a second-round pick by Montreal, Jay O'Brien, a 2018 first-round pick by Philadelphia, Robert Mastro Simone, a second-round pick by Detroit, Alex Vlasic, a second-round pick by Chicago, and goalie Drew Comesso, another second-round pick by Chicago. As you can see, BU has no trouble recruiting talented players to their school. So, now that we have taken a look at each of these four schools, which of these programs produces the best NHL players right now? Is it North Dakota, Michigan, Boston College, or Boston University? In my opinion, at this point, I would go with Boston College. Although the high-end talent might be better at Michigan or Boston University, and the history and players that have gone through North Dakota are amazing, I think the most depth in terms of the group as a whole of current players is from Boston College. A big part of this was also goaltending, and with Thatcher Demko and Spencer Knight both being potential future stars in the NHL, I had to choose BC. They also have a plethora of talented forwards and defensemen to choose from, so I had to go with Boston College. Be sure to let me know down in the comments which NCAA program you think produces the best NHL talent and why. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.